Pokémon, I am invincible when I dig out the Eudemons fossils at the beginning. Author, Ultraman Zeta. Chapter 151. Charizardy, who dominates the victory, shook his head. Although Crystal Aggron felt pain, it didn't directly cause serious damage. Mouth open, the astonishingly low temperature ice blue beams emitted, shotted the little Charizard in the air. Flamethrower. Ye Bai's command was very timely. Read the pillar of fire from the mouth of Charizard spit up again. The pillar of fire and the beam of ice blue meet in the air. Two completely opposite energies collide in the air. Fire melts ice freezes fire. The two energies frantically clashed and devoured each other. A long time, the flames penetrated the center of the ice blue beams and drove straight in, while a large number of ice blue beams on the periphery rushed towards Charizard even though their power was weakened. Poured generously into Crystal Aggron's mouth. The scorching flames burned Aggron's throat, causing him extreme pain, and he quickly closed his mouth. Flames hit Aggron's facade. Blizzard. In order to relieve the pain on his body, Aggron fully activated his Blizzard skills. An ice storm rose from behind, roaring and covering the battlefield. Blizzard strikes. The temperature dropped further, greatly reducing Aggron's suffering. The large-scale ice Dendemil storm made Charizard's dual wing beat inevitably covered with a little bit of frost. Beside Ye Bai and others, the outside of Psychic Shield is also covered with a layer of white frost and snow. After all, special attack is not the field that Aggron is good at. Withstand the blizzard attack. Charizard is still alive and well. On the contrary, it was Crystal Aggron who launched the attack, stretching out his front paws to protect his throat in pain. The body is crumbling. Strangeness. Ye Bai was curious. In his judgment, Crystal Aggron shouldn't be so fragile. But no matter, the opportunity for victory has appeared, and he will not let it go. Mega Evolution Y. Press your finger on the keystone surface on your wrist. For a moment, the keystone on Ye Bai resonates with the Mega Evolution stone on Charizard. Brilliant brilliance shrouded the dark figure in the center of the storm. When it reappears, the color of Charizard's body has become a little lighter overall. On the back of the head, between the dragon horns that were originally separated on both sides, a longer pointed horn suddenly grew. His neck and mouth got shorter. In stark contrast, the limbs, tail, and wings became longer. The tail looks like a crocodile, with bulbs growing out one by one, and the flame at the tail burns more vigorously. Compared to Charizard's introverted, Mega Evolution Charizard was filled with a fiery red aura. It makes people feel the heat on the other person's body just by looking at it. Roar. Flying in the air, the dragon flapped its wings and roared, and the sound resounded throughout the world. In the roar of the Mega Evolution Charizard, an invisible high-temperature air wave swayed, melting all the ice and snow along the way into water droplets. Soaring in the sky cleared, the scorching sun returned to the earth, and blizzard disappeared without a trace. Soaring in the sky shining strong sunlight, it makes people feel very dazzling. Bars. The ability of Mega Charizardy starts to work. When it enters the stage, it will change the weather to sunny. The temperature in the field rose rapidly, changing from the previous cold. Now it's round 5.2 between Ye Bai and Charizardy. Without any suspense, when Charizard Mega Evolution further enhances its own attribute, the weather has also been changed to sunny day, which can increase the power of fire moves. Even though Rival is the boss Pokémon, possesses a powerful defense that far exceeds that of the same level, and still cannot stop the terrifying output of Charizardy in the sunny day. Boom. Crystal Aggron fell, eyes rolling in circles. Go, Heavy Ball. Chapter 152. Foodie. Crystal Aggron successfully subdued Crystal Aggron. Ye Bai stepped forward quickly and picked up the heavy ball that fell on the ground. What? Where did you say Psychic Barrier went? As early as the moment Ye Bai lost the ball, the different color lasers had already withdrawn a barrier. Click. Falling into silence, the heavy ball reopens. Shoot a ray of light. The behemoth with a length of 9 meters reappeared in the outside world. Crystal Aggron's body was weak and fell on the ground, still keeping his eyes circling, due to the contest condition of his combat ability. Watching the fallen Aggron, Ye Bai immediately opened the system backpack and took out a bottle of full restore for use, accompanied by a full set of O3 medicines. The intense medicinal effects erupted, and light green fluorescence emerged from the Crystal Aggron's body surface, and then quickly disappeared. A large amount of medicinal power filled the Crystal Aggron's body, quickly healing the wounds on Aggron's body. During this period, Ye Bai, Serena, Qishu, the three circled around Crystal Aggron's body curiously. Some observations. To Ye Bai's surprise, he also found other scars on the Crystal Aggron. Yes, scars not caused by Charizard. It seems to be the dent left by the sharp fangs piercing the body. There are also dark marks similar to those left by flame-burned wounds. This gave Ye Bai a great surprise to know. The Crystal Aggron captured by Ye Bai is the boss Pokémon, still only talented. Species strength is equal to Quasi-God, the leader Pokémon with orange talent. Rival who can scar Crystal Aggron can't be average. Ye Bai is a hunch. The Crystal Aggron may not be all he has gained from this trip to the secret realm. In this secret place, There is also a more powerful boss Pokemon waiting for him to conquer. He's awake, Ye Bai. Just when Ye Bai fell into deep thought, the two women's reminders sounded. Following the eyes of the two women, Ye Bai looked at the crystal Aggron who fell on the ground. In sight, the crystal Aggron, which has almost recovered half of its injuries, regained a bit of spirit in its swirling eyes. His eyes were fixed on Ye Bai. You wake up, I will be your trainer from now on. Taking advantage of the fact that the other party has not fully recovered its ability to move forward, Ye Bai reached out and stroked crystal Aggron's head and took out a bottle of Moo Moo milk and a box of mineral-rich energy cubes. After experiencing the Genesect incident, Moo Professor explained. Ye Bai now has some experience in what types of food should be provided to different types of Pokemon. As expected, the energy cube rich in minerals is instantly recognized by crystal Aggron as soon as it appears. Together with, crystal Aggron looked at Ye Bai with a softer look. Ye Bai has been preliminarily approved. After regaining mobility, look at the large amount of energy cubes Ye Bai provided for himself. Crystal Aggron's eyes lit up with excitement. In addition to being happy, he showed a questioning look in disbelief. Is this really the food Ye Bai gave him? After getting an accurate answer from Ye Bai, crystal Aggron squinted into crescents. The truck-like body rushed straight to the pile of energy cubes piled up like a hill, and stuffed cheeks 35 jumped up excitedly. The behavior of Aggron's inquiry also greatly improved the brutal image of crystal Aggron in Ye Bai's heart. Relieved him. It looks like this crystal Aggron can be integrated into the modern social order without much effort. Wait until the one-ton energy cube disappears. Crystal Aggron finally had enough. This amount of food. Ye Bai sighed in his heart. Fortunately he has sufficient reserves of energy cubes, and he is not short of money. The normal family really can't afford a gold-eating behemoth like Aggron. After all, simply eating soil, the strength and nutrition that Aggron can grow is very rare. Put away Aggron. Ye Bai and his party continue on the road, heading towards the depths of the secret realm. Chapter 153 Different Color Latias Shot. After cancelling Mega Evolution and storing Charizard and Crystal Aggron, walking in secrets, Ye Bai commands the Magic Masked Cat to fight with Rock-type Pokemon. Leapfrog battles let the experience of Magic Mask Mew grow extremely fast. Qishu also tried, command your Pokemon and battle with Pokemon in the secret realm. It's just ... level 70 is an elite level after all, and the Pokemon under Qishu's command are generally at the gym level. Coupled with the electric type, it does not constitute any restraint effect on the rock type and evil type. The level is behind, and the attribute is not dominant. As a result, Qishu hit a wall again and again. Failure. This is failure. So real here. There is a sentence that Qishu did not say. That is the encounter in the underground world, which is exactly the same as the outside world. She is still the weak woman who can't beat anyone. Losing again and again made Qishu feel the reality of the underground world more and more. Ye Bai. Later, let's go to the water system's secret realm and find the venue. That's a great idea. Qishu's eyes lit up and she felt excited. Ye Bai commanded the magic mask to increase the level by defeating rival. Little Ju saw all of them. If she can beat rival like Ye Bai to district gymnasium level, even the elite class will no longer be her home. The champion is her limit. The reason why Qishu's strength is only at the gymnasium level is nothing more than two reasons. One is because Qishu's side job is the gymnasium owner, and she doesn't have so much free time to look for rivals of the same level to improve her level and accumulate combat experience. The second is because the Pokemon under her command have limited talents, and the speed of improving their strength is far behind mainstream trainers. Now with the underground world, everything will change completely. With enough rival leveling, Qishu felt that she was still expected to hit the unover champion. Just as Qishu fell into deep thought, looking forward to the future. Suddenly, a beam of light as bright as day struck from a distance, illuminating the field of view of Ye Bai et al. Almost instantly, to envelop the crowd. Really, shot while lying down. Swish. At some point, a different colored Latias figure suddenly appeared in front of Ye Bai and the others. Dragon energy. Dragon's mouth opens. The violent dragon's energy quickly gathers and explodes suddenly, condensing a deep purple attack like a beam of light from hell. Dragon energy, similar to skills eruption and water spout. The ultimate power of moves depends on using Pokemon's performance contest condition. Alien Latias has hardly participated in battles, coupled with a very high level contest condition. Naturally, needless to say, the power of this attack is even comparable to the destructive death light used by Groudon. Boom. Deep purple and silver meet, with no doubt. As soon as the two energies came into contact, the violent dragon energy quickly suppressed silver white and destroyed the death light. Dragon energy, the exclusive skill from the god of Dragon Pillar, moves forward indomitably, extremely fast towards the direction of the attack. Disintegrate all the destructive deadlight energy encountered along the way. Boom. The earth trembles. In the depths of the distant forest, a large-scale explosion occurred. Dazzling white light rose like a mushroom cloud. Everyone under the strong light couldn't open their eyes. Wait until the glare fades away. An extremely strong shockwave spread in all directions at nearly the speed of sound, tearing everything including the earth into pieces and overturning it. An absolute vacuum basin depression is left in situ. Maids, the scene like a nuclear explosion arouses goosebumps and creeps. R. Apostrophe. How can it be so strong? Latias, the two women exclaimed again and again, in this doomsday-like scene. Subconsciously put his head in his hands. The heterochromatic Latias also quickly built a barrier after the initial stress response, because the three of them blocked the attack and killed them. Ye Bai's gaze inevitably turned to the attacker at the center of the explosion. Black, Tyranitar Evil plus Rock, Volt. Chapter 154 Conquer Black Tyranitar without bloodshed. Black Bang Era Evil plus Rock. Ability, Sand Blowing. Talent, Gold. Level, 70. Special ability, Immune to Stiffness. Species Strength plus 100. Species Strength 700. Stamina 100. Attack 164. Defense 150. Special Attack 95. Special Defense 120. Speed 71. Different Color Flash. Species Strength up to 700. Comparable to Mega Evolution Tyranitar. No, more precisely, the species strength allocation of this heterochromatic Tyranitar in front of him is the real species strength of Mega Tyranitar. 164 Super Attack, 71 Speed instead of increase, or the total species strength raised from 600 to 700, this heterochromatic Tyranitar is 713. Quite excellent. What's more, this is only a Tyranitar with gold talent. The future is limitless. The dual wing beat appeared behind Ye Bai, and his body left the spot like an arrow from Li Xuan. In the exclamation of Qishu, in an instant, it crossed a distance of hundreds of meters and landed safely in the center of the explosion. On site, located at the core of the explosion, in a huge collapsed pit, Tyranitar, a desert tyrant with a black body that seems to be able to absorb light, is full of texture. Now, his consciousness was in a coma, and half of his body was buried in the dust. Similar to the crystal Aggron that Ye Bai conquered earlier. Adds, the heterochromatic Tyranitar also has a huge body comparable to a heavy truck. The average height of a normal Tyranitar is 2.0 meters, plus the remainder is not a horizontal development. The actual physique is even smaller than Aggron. From a distance, only two Tyranitars can have the size of an Aggron. However, the body length of the Benjiras in front of him, according to Ye Bai's visual inspection, there are at least 10 meters. That's 5 times the height of a normal Tyranitar, even by boss Pokemon standards. This Tyranitar is also good enough. No wonder you can have a gold talent. His eyes fell on the slender fangs of the heterochromatic Tyranitar. He paused for a while. The corners of Ye Bai's mouth rose slightly. No wonder Crystal Aggron has tooth-like wounds on his body. Now the case is solved. Those scars were left by the Tyranitar in front of me. Tyranitar was defeated by the heterochromatic Latias, which saved Ye Bai a lot of effort. Open the system backpack, find the Pokeball category. The eyes keep going back and forth to Pokeballs of different colors, and Black Tyranitar, some screening. Ye Bai finally screened out 2 shortlists, the Ultra Ball in black, yellow and white and the Heavy Ball in black and white. Slightly hesitated, considering the huge size of Black Tyranitar. Ye Bai still chose the Heavy Ball, which is more suitable for large Pokemon. Thump tilde, thump tilde, thump tilde, boom. After shaking 3 times, the Heavy Ball finally calmed down, successfully subdued. Ye Bai had a smile on his face. Wait until Qishu and Serena come to the scene under Latia's help. Ye Bai has released Tyranitar. The huge body like a heavy truck once again gave the two women a huge shock. For the so-called totem Pokemon and boss Pokemon, and Latias, who can kill such an existence with one blow, has a clearer understanding. Legendary Pokemon is too powerful. Ye Bai used a bottle of full restore on Tyranitar. After confirming that his life was not in danger, he put away the other party. I plan to use the healing machine to heal Tyranitar later. Let's train this new partner together. Chapter 155 Latios is cured. Successfully subdued the heterochromatic Tyranitar, Ye Bai and the two daughters continued to wander around the Badrock secret realm for a while. Magic Mask Meow has also gained a lot of battle experience, but Ye Bai did not only care about himself, except for the Badrock secret realm, go straight to a water system secret realm. Now, attribute dominates. Qishu commanded the main force Zebstrika Mega Evolution to leapfrog the battle. Experience skyrocketed, levels soared. Qishu was so excited that she couldn't stop. She was so excited. In just half an hour, Zebstrika level is already approaching 71. They have all reached level 70, which is only one step away from Litan's King level, the peak of the gym. The time came to noon, when it's time to eat. Ye Bai had no choice but to interrupt, with a look of unsatisfactory expression. Qishu, who is obsessed with the promotion of the battle, Sorry, I'm so excited. Qishu looked down at her fair belly without a trace of fat, feeling a little embarrassed. Shaking his head, Ye Bai comforted him. I understand this feeling. That's right, Serena nodded too. It was the same when I entered the underground world for the first time. Thanks. Receiving the comfort of the two, Xiao's heart warmed up. With eyes rolling and a smile on his face, Kanto region, Aldomare's underground secret base. The door of the teleportation machine opens. The sound made M and Latias turn back together. How about it? Ye Bai walked out of the hatch and came to M, with no sadness or joy on M's face. She lightly shook her head. Give way. Allow Ye Bai to see the lights of a healing machine. It's still not good. Ye Bai looked dignified. From the looks of it, Latios was hurt really badly this time. Immediately, Ye Bai looked at Latias floating in the air beside him. Hairy Latias. The pitiful eyes are heartbreaking. Ye Bai reached out and brushed the short red hair on Latias' forehead. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Ye Bai comforted his younger sister Latias with a soft voice. Yes, it will be fine. M also came to Latias, also stretched out her hand, stroking Latias' head. Lady. Feeling the care from Ye Bai and M from the heart. Asking for flowers. Latias slowly closed his eyes, withdrawing his palm. Ye Bai released the retracted Latias. At this time, suddenly, the red light representing the operation of the treatment machine is off, and the green light is on. It's over. Everyone looked at the machine together, and Ye Bai immediately looked at the green light representing the success of the treatment. The corners of the mouth rose slightly. Under Latia's nervous gaze, Ye Bai turned on the healing machine and took out the dive ball that belonged to Latios. Blue's dive ball opens. In the whole body Blue Baixiang, Latios, like an airplane, floats in the room. No wounds on the body, except for the dazed look. The other behaviors are the same as the normal Pokemon. How do you feel? Is there anything else wrong with your body? Latios. Among the crowd, Ye Bai, who was used to such scenes, was the first to react. Make an inquiry. But in fact, Ye Bai does not think that after receiving the treatment of the treatment machine, Latios will still be injured. Lady. As expected, Latios shook his head excitedly, and then he and his younger sister Latias hugged each other happily. Chapter 156 World Championship. Sister Cabbage who is not favored. Although Latios voluntarily confirmed his recovery, but the heterochromatic Latias still releases heal pulse uneasy to check. Psychic launch. Heterochromatic Latias can feel the heal pulse overflowing in the air in real time, without any absorption. This news stunned the heterochromatic Latias. She couldn't be more aware of the seriousness of Latios' injuries. It stands to reason. In such a short period of time, even if Latios can be cured, many small injuries will be left, waiting for 597 to wait for Latios to repair itself. However, the fact is that there is no. Latios' body is even healthier than his sister. It's incredible. With Latios healed, the matter on Audemare's side came to an end for the time being. Both Thash and Ye Bai returned to the Kanto region to prepare for the upcoming Kanto Alliance Indigo Plateau Conference, and Qishu returned to the Unova region. Of course, this has something to do with her mastering the login authority of the underground world and being able to go back and forth between Kanto and Unova at any time. In recent days, Qishu has learned information from Ye Bai a lot, especially knowing that through the underground world, she even has a chance to catch the legendary Pokemon of the electric type, after becoming a partner with legendary Pokemon such as Zapdos, Raikou, Thundurus, Zeraora, Kipu, Reggie, and more. Xiaojua often went to the secret realms of electric systems in various places. As for Ye Bai, it is also ready for the start of the conference. During this period, the World Championship Finals competition has begun. The start is the quarterfinals. The 8 combatants are the previous champion, Gala champion Dandi, last runner-up, Johto region champion Yulongdu, last year's runner-up, Sinnoh champion Cynthia, last runner-up, Kalos champion Kaluni, Hoenn champion, Steven Stone, and the 2 Unova Rookie Kings, the girl Lure and the rival Yuthen. Then there is Cabana, the strongest Dragon Master in Gala. The luxurious lineup makes people's blood boil. And the person who really aroused Ye Bai's curiosity, it is none other than the 2 Rookie Kings who are regarded as lucky by the public and considered a round-trip Black and White one-game protagonist Touzi and Den. If only one of the 2 appeared, Tubai would not be looking forward to it, because it might just be pure luck, and when both appear at the same time, combined with the concept of yin and yang relative to Black and White dragons, it is not surprising that the 2 pulled out Reshiram and Zekrom, Ye Bai on the field. Certainly, this is just Ye Bai's personal opinion, and the mainstream view in the market. The most promising person is none other than the last champion, the undefeated legendary Dandi. After all, no matter how fast the strength increases, there is no reason why someone can make a qualitative leap within a year. But in fact there is. Just like being pulled into the underground world by Ye Bai, the strength of the first team has made a qualitative leap, and it has also conquered the Cabbage sister of the Holy Pillar King Regigigas. Coincidentally, in the first round of the match, the rival Dandi met in the draw was Bai Suji. For the rest of the match, Toko vs Kaluni N versus Steven Yulongdu versus Cabana. Audiences all over the world are mourning for Sister Bai Ki. Sinnoh's network exploded in an instant. All unanimously pessimistic Sinnoh round trip. Some even criticized the Pokemon Alliance for targeting. The weakest rival was drawn to Kaluni. Steven, Yulongdu. It is taking care of Kanto, Hoenn, Kalos Alliance especially as Kanto from Alliance headquarters, actually let a champion draw the Gymnasium 4.3 Master. The envoy of the dragon confronts the master of the strongest dragon, although it is very interesting. But it still can't change the fact that the weakest rival is a leak. A group of people called Kanto Alliance faceless. For such online public opinion, Ye Bai watched the music directly. Weakest? Really funny. Sacred Billa King, Reshiram, Zekrom are very good. Of course, Kibana is really good. After all, counting the past life and the two worlds, only Kibana can play the supergiant aluminum steel dragon. .jpg. Chapter 157 and Serena's Reward. The popular King Dandi. Time soon came to the date of the first game. There will be 2 games on the first day. They are the first game Dandi vs Cynthia, and Yulongdu vs Kibana. The remaining 2 games will be played tomorrow. Among the hotels near Indigo Plateau, Ye Bai, Serena, and Xiaojia in a disguise of a different color Latias gathered to watch the opening ceremony of the competition. Speaking of heterochromatic Latias, marvel at all the magic of Ye Bai. Different color Latias finally chose to follow Ye Bai. The Latias brothers and sisters of common, the big brother stayed in the water city, and the younger sister chose to follow him. This made him, who is a dragon-type Pokemon fan, happy for a long time. The crushing of Ye Bai in the past week has been inhumane. Well done. If Ye Bai constitution had not been enhanced by O3, I really can't stand him's revenge reward. With 2 big dark circles under the eyes, raising his hands above his head, Ye Bai gave a yawn. It's so boring. Why don't you bring up the game soon? As soon as this remark came out, a charming aura flashed in Mei Mai's eyes. Her eyes flickered, and her eyes moved down faintly. Or? While there is still some time before the opening of the competition, we take me one. Serena blinked excitedly. The youthful aura of the beautiful girl made her charm extraordinarily strong, facing the 2 girls who are full of interest, like hungry wolves. Ye Bai shook his head. Let's go, the game is about to begin. Wen Yan smiled knowingly, with a provocative face. Really? But I have prepared handmade custom black silk. With her slender fingers reaching down, slowly lifted up the skirt of the light blue skirt, revealing a touch of white under the skirt. Serena is not to be outdone. I have prepared white silk. Click, the shoes fell off, revealing Serena's small and exquisite feet trapped in white silk. Groudon. The Adam's apple loosened, and Ye Bai's eyes shone brightly. Of course I'm joking, the game is important to you. Galar region. Straight talk. Gongmun City is the largest city in the Galar region, located in the north of the region. The outer wall is at the end of the cold 10th route, and a hexagonal outer wall surrounds the entire Gongmun City. On the city wall made of brown tiles, there are many small windows and continuous light-colored eaves. In Gongmun City, occasional marathons are held around the city. Like Fei'an City in Unova region and Lumiose City in Kalos region, Gongmun City is full of high-rise buildings. It is the 3rd of the most advanced big cities in the world. Palace Gate Stadium. Located in the center of Gongmun City, Palace Gate Stadium is not only the venue for the Galar Alliance Champions Cup, but also the headquarters of the Galar region's Pokemon League. Can decide who will be the world champion this year. Before the coming of the World Championship next year, the final of the World Championship, which will become the world's first person, will also be held here soon. Oh, what a grand performance, reflecting the enthusiasm of our Galar people. But, after the enthusiastic performance, please don't change the channel. After all, the next game is the highlight. Under the watchful eyes of tens of thousands of spectators, the live host began to control the field. Next, let us give the warmest applause to welcome Miss Cynthia, the 3rd runner-up of the previous championship. On-site host passionately mobilized the emotions of the audience. Cynthia, Cynthia, Cynthia. Tens of thousands of spectators at the scene shouted the tsunami, calling the same name together. The loud sound makes people feel palpitations. Cynthia, with her waist-length hair in gold and her temperament like a flower in the mountains, slowly walked out of the player channel. Instantly ignited the enthusiasm of the audience. For a while, the sound waves on the scene became even more boiling. However, when the loudspeaker was on, the host turned around. Call out the name of the undefeated legendary Dandi. The response from the audience was even more intense. Almost instantly, the shouts of Dandi's name on the field instantly overwhelmed the voices supporting Cynthia. The sound waves reached unprecedented heights. A man who obviously looks normal. At this moment, the momentum surpassed Cynthia, the absolute goddess in the minds of countless men. The factors that caused all this, it all depends on the strength gap between the two. World of Pokemon, after all, it is still the strength that dominates. The past achievements have made Dandi, who is not outstanding in appearance, still become the hottest king of popularity. Similarly, this also represents the unanimous opinion of the vast majority of viewers at the moment. This battle will be won by Emperor Dan without any suspense. Oh, Chapter 158 Cynthia vs Pill Emperor, Force vs Intelligence. Palace Gate Stadium. Located in every corner of the stadium stands Touzi, Kaluni, Steven, Yulongdu, and Cabana are all focusing on this battle. Watch Dandi, the biggest obstacle on their way to the championship. How will it perform? Located at the corner of the stadium, Professor Oak brought Gary Ash to watch the game. Looking at Dandi and Cynthia, who are separated on both sides of the field, not only did Ye Bai appear in Professor Oak's mind, I can't help but start looking forward to the finals next year with Ye Bai joining field. Standing in front of the undefeated legendary, known as the strongest champion Dandi, Cynthia took a deep breath. The appearance of Ye Bai driving Black Rayquaza also appeared in his mind. Strongest? The strongest man has not competed yet. Before that, let her take the place of Ye Bai and stabilize the top of the world. Although I know that the whole world is not optimistic about me, but at the moment, Cynthia's heart was exceptionally calm, because only she knows, during the leveling trip in the underground world of Sinnoh region, what a huge improvement it has brought her. In full view, the two threw out the first Pokeball at the same time. Black's tall body appeared in the eyes of the world. It was Sinnoh Quasi-God, the battle favorite, who was plotted against the game's Earth Dragon, Garchomp, who would never learn the Dragon Dance. And across from Garchomp, appearing on the field was a slender figure in blue, like a model. It is the Water Lord of the three households in the Galar region, with U-turn in his hands, Qian Mianbiong, the most stable debut. Is it the trump card right from the start? Dandy's eyes flickered, and he kept a poker face, making it impossible to see what he was thinking. And Cynthia has no scruples here. The consistent style of her and Garchomp is to open and close the domineering line. Mega Evolution. Under the gaze of tens of thousands of spectators, Cynthia took out a lipstick. Tap your finger on the surface of the keystone hidden in the lipstick. Swish. Keystone resonates with Mega Evolution Stone. Brilliant colored light covered Garchomp's whole body. In the light, Garchomp has a tall stature, and the fins on his arms evolve in the direction of a huge scythe. A moment later, the light is restrained and eventually absorbed completely by Garchomp. The figure of Mega Garchomp appeared in the eyes of everyone. Wow! Is it Mega Evolution right from the start? The audience roared. Unlike Cynthia's big move, as soon as she comes up, Dandi chooses to switch Pokemon battles. Put the quadruple restrained Garchomp's ice-walking figure Pokeball in the palm of your hand. U-turn. After receiving the instruction, Qianmian avoids service with both legs, and steps on, the ground. The body is covered with a layer of faint green fluorescence. Attack Mega Garchomp. Without waiting for Cynthia to fight back with Mega Garchomp, a miraculous scene appeared. After the attack was over, the body of Thousand Faces Refuge turned into the ray of light and flew back to the Pokeball. Dandi threw out the Pokeball of the ice puppet. Flash of light. The ice-walking puppet appears on the field, shaped like a gentleman in a tuxedo, with an extension on the top hat shaped like the corner of a cirrus, a mustache covering his mouth, a walking stick made of ice in his mittened hand, and shoes resembling tap shoes. Ice dolls are masters of tap dancing. On this basis, Dandi specially developed the movement skills of this ice-walking puppet. It can perfectly play the advantages of walking dolls on the ice. The speed at which it bursts out is 25% higher than that of its peers at the same level. Basically, it is just right for the Mega Garchomp, whose speed has been reduced after passing the Mega Evolution. Everything is within Dandi's calculations. The only thing that puzzled Emperor Dan was Cynthia didn't let Mega Garchomp attack while he was exchanging ice dolls. Sandstorm was used instead. Yes, yellow sand rose from the sky all over the ground, and the dense sandstorm covered the entire battlefield. If it weren't for Stadium's shield system, a wave of sandstorm is enough to kill tens of thousands of spectators, and it is estimated that even Cynthia herself cannot be buried by the yellow sand. And the moment sandstorm rises, after the Mega Evolution, the ability to move the sofa, in sandstorm weather, the speed doubles. A mysterious force covered Mega Garchomp's body. Its speed has skyrocketed, and it has been doubled. Chapter 159. The audience is in an uproar. Cynthia goes first. The continuous sweep of sandstorm made Dandi quickly realize that the situation was not good. No, we can't go on like this. Although the Ice Treader got his meticulous breeder, but the speed line is only slightly faster than Mega Biting Lushark, and that's without any extreme weather impact cases. If sandstorm is allowed to continue, ice puppets have no chance of hitting Garchomp, while Mega Garchomp has a lot of room to maneuver. To change the current situation, can only change the weather. The most suitable, none other than hail. Not only solved the sandstorm weather, he and the Ice Walker figure cannot see the adverse effects of the situation. Also deals area of effect hail crash damage to Garchomp. You must know that the Earth Dragon is restrained 4 times by the ice system. Even the weakest damage will be magnified 4 times and become considerable. Dragon Rush. Cynthia makes an offensive command. Use hail. then protect. Dandi's idea is very good. In his opinion, the speed of Mega Garchomp is reduced, and it will take a while to fly over. This time is long enough for the ice puppet to use the hail skill, replace the core of his problem, the weather, then calmly block the attack. But the battle database accumulated in his mind from the past battles with Cynthia has deceived him, so much so that he misestimated the speed of Mega Garchomp. Almost instantly, the Mega Garchomp, whose body is wrapped in the energy field of the Violent Dragon, is like an intercontinental ballistic missile, leaving behind a long trail of air waves. Dive down from the sky and blast your way out of Sandstorm. Swish. Attack the Ice Walker doll, who uses the hail skill in the middle. The Violent Dragon energy crazily impacted, and the explosive force drove the Ice Walking doll deep into the ground like a nail. This moment, the ground is as soft as a swamp filled with water. After one hit, the ice puppet loses its ability to fight. Wow! There was an uproar in the audience. Cynthia actually caused rapid attrition in the Dandi game against the strongest champion, the undefeated legendary. Is it because they didn't wake up, or Dandi didn't wake up? Compared with the horror of the scene, Sin on the other side of the world, watching this battle, Sinnoh, who was suffering in his heart, counted one by one, and all of them almost dropped their jaws in shock. Champion. Unexpectedly, it is much stronger than last year. Miss Cynthia. Even the undefeated legendary Dandi was defeated so quickly. Could it be that? Ask for flowers. We are the champion. Woo ho 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 tilde. In some crowded places, the trainer's blood surges, and the excitement is self-sufficient. On sight, it's amazing, beyond everyone's expectations. In this strong dialogue, Miss Cynthia, who had lost to Dandi many times, unexpectedly crushed rival against attribute. Let's congratulate Miss Cynthia for going first. Host's voice resounds throughout the stadium. At the same time, it also started the sound of stadium. Cynthia. The audience chanted the same name together. But this does not mean that they are optimistic about Cynthia. As we all know, Cynthia's strongest trump card is Garchomp. Dandi's strongest trump card is Charizard. Use the strongest trump card to hit other members of Dandi Yi's first team, resulting in rapid attrition. Although surprisingly, combined with the Mega Evolution battle system, everything makes sense. Including Steven et al., they still believe the situation can be reversed as long as Dandi sends out his strongest trump card Supergiant Charizard. However, will things really develop like this? Chapter 160 Roz's Scheme. Cynthia as the background board! To the platform, looking at the defeated ice-walking puppet, Emperor Dan's heart has already set off a turbulent wave. Knowing that the weakness of the ice-walking doll is defense, the ice puppet was instantly killed by Mega Garchomp, which was not what Dandi expected. What really struck him was the speed of Mega Garchomp. Nearly doubled the speed. What on earth is it? Suddenly, a flash of light flashed in my mind. Dandi thought of the strange phenomenon he discovered not long ago in Venusaur, the main force of his second-tier team. Sunny day, Venusaur's speed will be doubled. Moreover, after the Venusaur's physical strength 470 passed away, there was no similar flourishing trigger on his body. Could it be? The ability of this Mega Garchomp also has a similar effect. It's just that the speed is not doubled in sunny weather, but in sandstorm weather. A gleam flashed in Dandi's eyes. In this way, when the ice-walking doll debuted, Cynthia didn't direct the attack, but instead used sandstorm, which made sense. Have to say, Dandi deserves to be the strongest champion. Just through a short fight, combined with his own experience, he has even judged that the ability of this Mega Garchomp is to shake the sand. However, it is very important to make court change more so. It seems so long ago. But in fact, only a few seconds passed. Dandi put away the ice-walking doll. His brain was running fast, knowing that the key to breaking the game is true, but how to break the situation has become the crux of the problem. If it really doubles the speed, then the speed is definitely not enough. It can only resist one attack, and then grab the weather. In this case, his remaining lineup, Thousand Faces Dodge, Flame Trump Card, Boom King Kong, Duo Longbato, Charizard. Dandi came to a conclusion that silenced him. 5 can't do it. None of the 5 can't handle the output of Mega Garchomp. Could it be that he is going to be humiliated and pushed to the team? Facing the camera, Dandi had a look of excitement and fanaticism on his face. Yes, faced with a battle where a little carelessness may result in total loss, Emperor Dan is not afraid of rejoicing. As expected of the strongest female champion in history, it really gave me a problem. Dandi sincerely praised. In the ears of the audience, it becomes purely commercial bragging. Only a few contestants had solemn expressions, as if they had noticed something, but I couldn't catch it. They all expressed their pensiveness. Come on, my trump card. Dandi thought for a while, and finally released the trump card Charizard. Let me experience the full Mega Garchomp. Charizard, Gigamax. Located on Dandi's wrist, White's huge wristband with pink-blue stripes, several bursts of pink light suddenly appeared, flying towards Charizard on the field, quickly wrapped Charizard's figure. Amidst the light, Charizard's body gradually grew larger, and finally reached an astonishing 45 meters. Compared to the average height of 28 meters that normal's Mega Charizard can reach, Dandi's strongest Charizard is nearly double in size. What's this? What the hell? If you can't beat it, just hang it up, right? I report with my real name. Dandi can't afford it. All the audience were stunned by the supergiant Charizard on the field. When did they see such battles? Everyone, please allow me to temporarily interrupt the game and introduce Gala's unique battle system to you. On site, hanging on the big screen at the center of the top of the battlefield, Roz, the president of Malika Group, dressed in costumes, appeared in the camera with a smile on his face. It stands to reason, the world-class competition was temporarily suspended, and the audience must be very dissatisfied. But now they want to know what happened to Charizard. Therefore, the interruption of the game did not cause opposition. Audiences from all over the world who were watching this battle all looked forward to Roz in a suit and tie. In fact, this is the plot that Roz had calculated from the beginning. The World Championship is a world-class competition that can attract attention from all over the world, especially the strongest male champion versus the strongest female champion. The flow of the finals is nothing more than that. Yes, the occurrence of this game was actually controlled by Roz behind the scenes. The purpose is to take this excellent opportunity to introduce the Gigamax 4.6 battle system to the world. Let Cynthia be Dandi. No, it is a stepping stone for the entire Gala region to ascend to the altar. Let Gala become a resort in the hearts of trainers all over the world. Speaking of which, Cynthia's performance in taking the lead gave Lutz a big surprise. After all, the stronger Cynthia behaves, after Dandi used Gigamax to defeat Cynthia, the reputation benefits brought about are also higher. Only, he doesn't know that Cynthia is no longer what it used to be. Even without the extremely gigantic system, there is a sacred Pillar King in his hand that can be gigantic. Chapter 161 Dandi Supergiant vs Cynthia Mega Evolution. Everyone, this is Milan Professor's latest research giant wristband. Roz gave a passionate and proud explanation, allowing people to briefly understand the existence of the extremely large battle system. After being gigantic, the Pokemon's movement speed will decrease, but all other abilities will increase, especially physical strength. An introduction made all the trainers shine. I want to see the power of the Extreme Giant battle system. Unlike games, Extreme Giantization in reality is not limited to 3 rounds. Instead, until the energy in the giant wristband is exhausted. The 3 rounds may be a mass product that Gala region will launch in the future in order to popularize the giant wristband. But as far as the first generation extremely giant wristband in Dandi's hand is concerned, its limit is not just as simple as only being able to use 3 extremely giant moves. Then everyone, the battle continues now. As Roz wraps up his introduction, the on-site director immediately refocused the screen on the battlefield. Earthquake, Fire Blast. Beyond the audience's expectations, at the battle seat, Cynthia remained calm and gave an order. In Sandstorm, Mega Garchomp stepped on the ground. Layers of yellow light circles flowed continuously along Garchomp's legs and penetrated into the ground. Violent shocks flowed through the contact of the ground and rushed to the supergiant Charizard. Different from the ground system, which is immune to the electric system, the steel system is immune to the absolute restraint of the national system. Although the flying type is immune to the attack of the ground type. But the fundamental reason is that ground-based skills cannot hit the air, so they are immune. Doesn't really ignore ground attacks. Just like Rayquaza taking a shot of Groudon's Precipice Blades will still take massive damage. After Foresight, the fighting moves can hit Ghost-type Pokemon. After Supergiant, Charizard is not flying, but standing on the ground. Therefore, Earthquake can also damage Charizard, plus ground restrains the fire system. The damage is not only there, but also very high. DL. Charizard showed a ferocious and painful expression. Obviously this blow caused him a lot of damage. Grit your teeth. The supergiant Charizard opened its huge mouth, and a terrifying flame was brewing in its mouth. Just looking at it gives people a burning sensation. Dragon Rush. Let Garchomp and I experience the power of Dynamax for ourselves. In Cynthia's amber eyes, at this moment, it seems that there is a flame burning. Latios. Mega Garchomp proudly held his head high and swooped down, uphold an indomitable strong will to fight. A layer of berserk dragon energy is generated on Mega Garchomp's body, enveloping it. G-Max Wildfire. Different from the fire blast imagined by Dandi, the flames of the supergiant Charizard spit up condensed into images similar to phoenixes and phoenixes in the air. Wow! Including Dandi himself, as well as a few contestants lurking in the stands, were stunned together with tens of thousands of spectators. Moltres? Damn it! Charizard shot a Moltres? At the same time, Mega Garchomp has collided with the supergiant Hellfire. The energy of Flame and Dragon crazily consumes each other. Charizard's attack meets Mega Garchomp's attack. Let's wait and see which of the two battle systems is stronger. Instructed by Roz, the host at the scene directly threw out a highly misleading suspense. Aerial. As the external dragon's energy position is continuously reduced, Mega Garchomp further increases the output. The advantage of sustainable output. Let Mega Garchomp break down G-Max Wildfire! Exclamation mark. Mega Garchomp wrapped in the deep purple energy position. The domineering figure penetrated the Fire Phoenix, Such a result was far beyond Latios' expectations. Dandi's strongest trump card actually lost in the duel. For a while, Latios stood there in a daze. Is Garchomp out of stamina? But how long has it been fighting? On the battle bench, Cynthia frowned slightly. Looking at the huge monster opposite, counteracting that attack actually exhausted all Mega Garchomp's remaining stamina. It was really terrifying. Especially, the supergiant Charizard has only suffered an earthquake attack from Zhao, and his physical strength is still healthy. Sending out other Pokémon at this time is nothing more than sending them to death. The only possibility to break the game is the gigantic Regigigas. Think about this. Cynthia made a move that stunned the audience. After gaining the upper hand, Cynthia took the initiative to put away Mega Garchomp. Thanks for your hard work. At the same time, a Master Ball appeared in Cynthia's white and translucent palm. Sorry, Dandili. I won this victory. Facing the eyes of the audience and the camera shooting, a strong confident smile flashed on Cynthia's beautiful face. Chapter 162. Cynthia also has extreme giantization. At the same time, Kanto, after a big fight, bathed, half covered with a towel, holding a towel in his hand, he wiped the wet parts, sat back in front of the TV, nestled her fragrant body against Ye Bai's chest. Pillow on the chest of your lover and appreciate the continuation of the battle. Miss Cynthia's Garchomp is really strong. Yeah, I also think it's a bit too much. Serena immediately agreed. Both women have seen Ye Bai's extremely large Dragonite. Therefore, I have a deep understanding of the power of extreme giantization. Think that is the ultimate power beyond Mega Evolution. However, 417 Serena's Garchomp broke through the attack of the supergiant Charizard. Ye Bai's performance was exceptionally calm. According to Ye Bai, Mega Garchomp's physical attack species strength is as high as 170, coupled with the great power of Dragon Rush. Although such a result is shocking, it is not a surprise. But, look at the Mega Garchomp who doesn't attack further in the shot. Ye Bai frowned slightly. Are you out of stamina? At this time, the broadcast has arrived. Cynthia lifts Mega Evolution, closes Garchomp. There is a picture of a Master Ball in his hand. This is, thinking of Regigigas, Ye Bai's eyes, Adage, brightened, all around the world, taking advantage of this moment, hurry up and attack, and win the victory in one go. Received ... Recovered Mega Garchomp. Wipe it Garchomp away. Go on the offensive. Remove the strongest Mega Garchomp, cancel the Mega Evolution contest condition, and then take the lead to fight the supergiant Charizard. If I fail because of this operation, I really ... have a brain hemorrhage. Champion of Cynthia, are you smelling salts? Supporters of Cynthia all over the world saw this scene, and they were stunned and puzzled. Tukao started Cynthia's ghost operation. However, there are also smart people. From the actions of Mega Garchomp, it is roughly guessed that Garchomp has a problem with his physical strength. Just like the contestants who are ambushing in the auditorium at this moment, it's just that there are so few such people that public opinion overwhelmingly questioned Cynthia's command. However, such doubts soon it disappeared. Go. In the shot, the Master Ball separates up and down, and a ray of light pops out. Astonishingly so. The scale of this ray of light is simply outrageous. Cynthia also has Dynamax. In the audience, Touzi, Yulongdu, Steven, Kibana, Kaluni, and Qishu were taken aback. President Roz actually discriminates. For a while, grassroots like Touzi and are hard to say anything. But people inside the alliance like Yulongdu, Steven, and Kaluni are all crazy. President Roz, what about our share? Especially Kibana, who is a native of Galar, was shocked enough to be shocked for a whole year. A feeling of betrayal haunted Kibana's heart. And Latios in the broadcast center was also dumbfounded. Immediately afterwards, a look of solemnity flashed across his calm and prestige face. Could it be that the test subject from Team Rocket was acquired by Cynthia? Just when Latios was thinking about how to settle the incident and the troubles that might arise later, jingle bell. Roz's private phone was dialed. The caller shows Yulongdu. Latios's heart tightened suddenly. He rubbed his head with a headache, and paced back and forth. After thinking about how to get rid of the cooperative relationship between himself and the Rockets after being connected. At the same time, field, light fades, the figure of Regigigas appeared in front of the world. It's not extremely giant, but a divine beast. For a time, Roz, Dandi, and the people all over the world, they all opened their mouths in astonishment. After the shock, comes the madness. Chapter 163. Huge explosion. Another city. At the same time, the ringtone of the phone in Latios's hand had also disappeared, and was hung up by Yulongdu on his own initiative. It was not extremely giantized. That's fine. Auditorium. Wow. I'm going. Is this Dynamax 2? Gigma vs. Giganta. It's on fire. Unlike the well-informed Roz and others, most viewers don't pay special attention to legendary stories everywhere. Therefore, not much is known about the Pillar King in Legendary who can make plates drift. There are only a few who love to study this kind of information, and Sinnoh trainers. Recognized as Regigigas. Divine Beast. It's actually a divine beast. This isn't Dynamax at all. It's the Pillar King from the Sinnoh legendary. Cynthia champion. Sorry, I apologize for my ignorance. Similar sound, not uncommon among Cynthia's supporters, and the one thought that all of them share is that, this time Cynthia is likely to really win the championship. Number 1 in the world. If Cynthia really becomes the number 1 person in the world, then their Shiny Alliance will naturally be the number 1 joint exhibition in the world. It's so cool to imagine that scene. On sight. Divine Beast. So what? Charizard, encore that kind of attack. Responding from the initial shock, Dandi then fanatically threw the peaked cap on his head behind him. An indomitable momentum erupted from his body. Crush it. Fire punch. Cynthia's eyes are sharp. Her temperament is like ice. The mind becomes clearer and calmer. The supergiant Charizard opened its huge mouth, and spit out flames again, and the huge molters flew high into the sky with heat waves, and swooped down on Regigigas. Regigigas leaned over, his flaming fists retracted, until the G-Max wildfire comes into attack range. Boom. The flaming fist was like a cannonball, fast and violent. Boom, boom, boom. Regigigas' fist directly and violently penetrated the molters formed by G-Max wildfire. At the same time, after breaking down G-Max wildfire, the flame escaped from Regigigas' fist and turned into a long-range attack. Keeping the shape of the fist, the supergiant Charizard in prison. Boom. The powerful blow made the supergiant Charizard lean back and almost fell down. The body fell heavily on the stadium barrier. Wow. As expected of a divine beast, it's not at the same star level at all. The host on the scene watched the supergiant Charizard, who was nearly overturned and smashed the protective cover in the aftermath of the attack, crushing thousands of spectators to death. He secretly wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Crush grip. Cynthia pursued the victory. Regigigas' eyes narrowed, and the strong low breath spread out. A palpitating pressure. Let everyone present be silent. They all couldn't help looking at the Titan on the field. I saw Regigigas slowly raised his right hand, and shook the supergiant Charizard in the air. In an instant, an invisible giant hand lifted the supergiant Charizard up. Ask for flowers. The body was constantly squeezed and suffered great pain. Charizard. Dandi looked at Charizard with worried and expectant eyes. Boom. After all, the supergiant Charizard failed to accept the exclusive trick from Regigigas. Under the spotlight, there was a gigantic explosion. Physical strength is cleared, and the body returns to normal size. The scene in front of him made Gala's host's scalp tingle. Who would have thought? The undefeated legendary, unexpectedly lost so miserably. He could even imagine how much abuse the people of Gala, who were used to calling themselves the First Division, would bring to Emperor Dan. According to the current situation, Dandi is likely to become a 0-6 record. No way. As a host, you can't turn a blind eye. I had no choice but to bite the bullet and continue explaining. Unexpectedly, this year's Cynthia players seem to be ridiculously strong, even mastering the mythical beasts in Legendary. Dandi's defeat was not wronged. I did my best, Champion Dandi. I can only help you so far. Host thought to himself. Let's congratulate Cynthia, who made another victory without bloodshed. At present, there are only 4 usable Pokémon left for Dandi players, but Cynthia players have all of them. The situation is not good for the undefeated champion Dandi. It's over. Yulonda stood up, ready to warm up. The next game is meaningless. There was no way Cynthia would lose. Chapter 164, Emperor Dan is upset and out. Touzi and Dan's whole cards are showing up. It's over. Dan Emperor Champion. Steven looked at the situation on the court and shook his head as well. I thought this World Championship, Dandi is still the most favorable contender. Unexpectedly, this year's Cynthia is so strong, outrageous, compared with Emperor Dan. Yin Yuping has already seen his own future. Fortunately, I'm not in the same area as Cynthia. Instead, it was shared with Kaluni. Although Kaluni's 883 is also very strong, but compared to Dandi and Cynthia, it is not enough at all. As for Touzi and Den, from Steven's point of view, it's just running with him. He had previously studied the video of the battle between the two. The strength of the first team lineup is not as good as the early stage of the championship. In the eyes of most people, this is strong, but in Steven's view, this level is pitifully low. Being able to enter the knockout round of the 8 Masters is entirely due to luck. It is easier to deal with than any previous year. And Kaluni here, also holding a similar idea to Steven. Hidden among a group of warblers and swallows in the stands, Touzi looked at Regigigas on the field. Fingers can't help touching the white and translucent collarbone, whereas a necklace, silver-white necklace stretches to the mysterious valley. A miniaturized master ball with a faint flash of fire is located at the bottom of the necklace, quietly placed among the peaks. Opposite stand, watching Regigigas appear on the field, Anne's hand had been inserted into his trouser pocket at some point, tightly holding the master ball with a faint lightning phantom appearing on its surface. Next game, as everyone agrees, Cynthia defeated Dandi without bloodshed, but not 6-0, but 4-0. After defeating the Dynamite Charizard, Cynthia took Regigigas away. Switched to another Pokémon to fight. Milotic, Anibonsai, Lucario, Roserade. The battle has its winners and losers. Finally, Cynthia has 4 Pokémon left. Surprised to advance to the next round. After the game, Dandi not only did not feel depressed, but was extraordinarily excited. It's like Duguku who lost the goal of the challenge and has a goal to beat again. Off-site, with Dandi's disastrous defeat, Cynthia's call for winning the championship has also risen accordingly, directly breaking the first place. At the same time, the sudden emergence of Cynthia has also brought extremely strong expectations to the audience. I hope that the next game will also bring them surprises. In such an atmosphere, the second game started. Yulongda vs Cabana. From beginning to end, Dragon Messenger showed the suppression of Chibana's bloodline. It belongs to an ending that meets the audience's original expectations. It stands to reason that this is normal. Can experience the surprises brought by Cynthia. The people who were expecting a turning point in this battle were expecting one of the two sides to come up with something new. The result is number. Sure enough, the unexpected surprise brought by Cynthia is just an example after all, so don't expect too much from such things. If nothing else, tomorrow's game will be even more boring, completely one-sided crushing. This year's top 4 will be Cynthia, Yulongda, DA 3.0 Wu, Kaluni. In the finals, Cynthia is basically a must, and the other side is hard to say. This kind of view is filled in the relatively well-known internet forums in various regions. Almost no one is optimistic about Touzi and Den, who will reach the semi-finals. This made Ye Bai, who roughly guessed the identity of the two legendary trainers, feel a burst of anticipation. Can't wait to travel directly to tomorrow. Confirm your guess. The picture is Touzi. I finally have the opportunity to post a picture of Touzi. Chapter 165, Touzi who got off to a bad start. Next day, in the morning, the 2 8-in-4 games that will also be held today. The game in the morning was Toko vs Kaluni. Although the main event, Cynthia vs Dandi, is over. In addition, Dandi was eliminated. As a result, most of Dandi's fans were depressed and had no intention of paying attention to Baizan. But the audience is still full. If the Galarians don't watch it, that's just right. I, Ho and Carlos, Unova, and the audience will cover you up. Come on, Touzi. Come on, Unova. Unexpectedly, in our Unova region, 2 trainers have reached the quarterfinals. That's right. The top 8 occupies 2 seats. Even if they are all eliminated, some of our Unova will blow. That's right. And you overlooked one point in 03. Even if Emperor Dan is defeated, people will eventually grow old, and they will be ruthlessly eliminated if they cannot keep up with the times. Our Touzi and N are both young people. Unova is strong in the future, and the real future can be expected. But Miss Touzi is really beautiful. Indeed, if Miss Kaluni is willing to lead Touzi to make a movie, I will definitely buy a ticket. There was a noisy discussion at the scene. All Unova audiences were very calm. They didn't expect Touzi and Den to advance. To be honest, because before this, even their champion, Mr. Alder, entered the knockout round of the 8 Masters, but failed to break through the quarterfinals. After experiencing too many disappointments, I naturally become a Buddhist. In the audience of Hoenn and Carlos, the atmosphere was equally harmonious. They all think that the champion of their region will advance. Coupled with the Buddhism of the Unova audience, the faces of the audience were full of smiles, talking and laughing, and even helping each other. The scene looked exceptionally harmonious, which was amazing. Even the host couldn't help but joke when he saw this scene, causing the audience to roar with laughter. For the people of Galar, the haze of the defeat of both Dandi and Cabana yesterday was swept away. Battle started. Touzi's starting Pokemon is a Hydreigon. It turned out that luck was not very good, just in time for her absolute nemesis, Gardevoir. Hydreigon is 4 times restrained by Fairy. Dragon type has no effect on Fairy type. It's a hell of a start. It was heart-wrenching from the Unova audience. One after another, the faces of the subway old men with question marks appeared. This is too bad luck. Knowing the odds are against them, Iron directs Hydreigon to use a U-turn intended to replace. However, at least you have to hit someone to change the Pokemon. Teleport. Gardevoir appears where Hydreigon used to stand. Bowl Flip. Mega Evolution. Then no damage. Dazzling Gleam. The Dazzling Light not only brings great damage to Hydreigon, also made Hydreigon lose sight. Moonblast. Accompanied by a pink full moon, it rises to a high altitude and falls straight down. Hydreigon was smashed into the ground by the full moon, leaving a huge pit, and dense spiderweb-like cracks spread all over the pit. In less than 5 seconds after the start, the sun-headed dragon was killed. The speed is outrageously fast. The audience was in an uproar, but, thinking that Hydreigon was defeated by Gardevoir, it is not surprising that Kaluni's trump card is Gardevoir. Sure enough, this battle was one-sided crushing. Auditorium. Steven, Yulongda and others nodded secretly. However, on the battle bench, Hydreigon, Touzi's performance is still calm and calm. A second Pokemon, Amoonguss of Grass plus Poison type, was sent. Chapter 166 Kaluni Double Kill. Touzi's whole card is absurd. Amoonguss is a mushroom-shaped Pokemon with a large, light-colored, warty Pokeball-shaped cap, a large gray stem-like body. Amoonguss often wields 2 shields shaped like Pokeballs to fight against enemies and resist enemy attacks. Among the distribution of Amoonguss species strength, except for super high physical strength and low speed, The other attributes are relatively balanced overall. 464 species strength is not high, but it has a spore that can 100% put the enemy to sleep. Despite being twice restrained by the superpower system, but the excellent durability can help her resist the attack from Mega Gardevoir. Spore, Psychic. An invisible wave of confusion shot out rapidly, hitting Amoonguss. Super energy moves brought great damage to Amoonguss. However, while Amoonguss was suffering, hypnotic spores had covered the entire venue. As if drops of water fell into the lake, and all the spores exploded. Like a sleeping beauty, Mega Gardevoir slowly closed her eyes and lay down on the ground. Toxic. Touzi made the command. However, after waiting for a long time, I was thoroughly aware of it. But I still couldn't wait for Amoonguss' next move. Noticing something unusual, the referee standing on the king's sword and shield hurried over to take a look. Amoonguss is out of combat. What? Meat shield Amoonguss was killed? The audience was in an uproar. Stephen looked calm. Sure enough, there is still a gap between the early stage of the championship and the peak of the championship. Come back, Amoonguss. Much attention. Toko put away Amoonguss. This time, after losing 2 spots in a row, her expression finally changed. On the seductive pretty face, the white and tight brow skin was slightly wrinkled, and Pink's lips were pursed together. Slightly hesitated, Toko took off the heavy ball from her waist. Come on, or Donphan. The Pokemon released by Touzi really looks like Dundee at first glance, but the body shape is more than the Donphan Arnold in people's cognition. But, from the dull sound it made when it hit the ground, it can be concluded that this is a heavyweight Pokemon. Flashed Donphan. It doesn't seem like it. Could it be Donphan's regional variant? Yulongda frowned, thinking about what was going on. At the same time, another stand, seeing the appearance of the so-called Donphan, Stephen's eyes lit up immediately, and sure enough, there was one. Whenever in crisis, Touzi will send this Pokemon to save the field. As for why Stephen researches Touzi, on the one hand, they are in the same half area, it doesn't hurt to know more about rival. The second is that when he was studying N, he discovered a similar existence on N's side. The difference is that with that alien Donphan, not the body of Bbook, instead, it has purple thick scales and a pair of long teeth. It's very powerful just by looking at it, and it's also a full 2.2 meters tall. Yes, Touzi's Donphan is more than twice the size of a normal Donphan. From the analysis of past battle videos, N's is just ground plus fighting type, and this one seems to be steel plus ground. When he first found out, Stephen was a little surprised. But, how knew how? Then I thought that although fighting ground is restrained from steel, but his trump card restrained fighting even with Metagross's superpower attribute, so he breathed a sigh of relief. When he wants to come, as long as he dealt with these 2 Pokemon carefully, he could easily resolve the subsequent attacks of Touzi and Den. Kaluni should have prepared for the same intelligence analysis. However, when Stephen looked at Kaluni, noticing the look of surprise flashing across Kaluni's face, Stephen petrified. Does she really not look up rival information? Chapter 167 Encounter in the stand. Goodbye Qishu. The stand in the auditorium, wearing a hat and long sleeves, Ye Bai frowned. It's actually an iron rut. What iron track? Didn't Miss Touzi just say Donphan, who wore a visor and had 2 ball heads on one left and one on the right, turned around in doubt. He looked at Ye Bai puzzled. On the other side of the body, although Serena didn't speak, she also looked at Ye Bai expectantly. It's an iron track. That's a creature recorded in a book. Ye Bai slowly told the 2 daughters about the Paideia region and the news about the paradoxical Pokemon. Of course, it's just some superficial news. Further, Ye Bai didn't say much about the interior of Area Zero and the birth truth of the paradoxical Pokemon. Wow! Unexpectedly, there is such a little-known secret in the Paideia region. The 2 women looked surprised. At this time, a slender arm suddenly rested on Ye Bai's body. Handsome, you know a lot. A young girl's voice came to the ears of the 3 of them, causing them to turn their heads in unison. What caught my eye was a petite-looking girl with 773 purple hair and a magnemite hair accessory. The girl's face is fair, her facial features are exquisite, her eyes are like jewels shining with starlight, her sharp shark teeth reveal a malicious smile, make it look a little crumbly. Strange tree? Ye Bai's eyes widened in surprise, and he looked at Qishu's butt. I just want to confirm whether Qishu is really sitting in the back row of them. It turned out to be true. Ye Bai, and just when Ye Bai looked towards the seat, after the initial astonishment, Qishu quickly glanced back and forth between Ye Bai and finally, relying on the understanding of Ye Bai's appearance, he recognized the 2 through the sunglasses. What a coincidence. Ye Bai smiled and stretched out his hand to Qishu. Oh, does Mr. Ye Bai still remember me? Of course, I am deeply impressed by the floating Qing electricity. Ye Bai smiled slightly. A very constructive idea indeed. Strongly agrees. Thanks to Miss Qishu's inspiration, I also applied this tactic to Lati. Aron. He felt the skirt being pulled by Ye Bai, following Ye Bai's line of sight. He glanced at the curious gazes from the surrounding stands, realizing the content of what she said, who was so explosive, could only quickly change her words. Only, in this way, Qishu was dumbfounded. Does Aggron have anything to do with floating electric? Seeing Ye Bai's deeply appreciative expression, it seemed to make sense. Qishu had no choice but to pretend to understand. Understood. I don't understand at all. Now it's Ye Bai's turn to be confused. Understood. Understand what? Ye Bai really wanted to break open the strange tree and see what was inside. At this time, his eyes fell on Tuco and Kaluni. Qishu's mind suddenly flashed. By the way, is Mr. Ye Bai from Carlos or Unova? Support. I'm from Carlos. Why do you ask? Ye Bai answered Qishu first, and then looked at her in surprise. It's because Mr. Ye Bai's starting point is Carlos, but the operation team is in Unova. Qishu tilted his head, and stuck out his tongue playfully. In addition to the fact that the two parties in this battle belong to Carlos and Unova so coincidentally, I was a little curious. Mr. Ye Bai, who has such a complicated composition, will support that side in the end. Miss Kalun. Serena and M looked at each other, and then spoke in unison. That's true. What a coincidence. After a motion, the two women looked at Ye Bai expectantly. After all, leaving aside the two sides in this battle, even Serena and M also belong to Carlos and Unova. He met the expectant and hostile eyes of the two women. Ye Bai's eyelids twitched. Qishu really gave him a problem. Momentary hesitation. Ye Bai still decided to respect his inner thoughts. Truthfully said, although I don't like my fellow countrymen very much, I will still support Kaluni because. After a pause, his gaze swept across the somewhat disappointed M. With a slightly teasing tone, puns, he spoke words that only Serena and M could understand. Because in the future we will all be Lord Carlos. After all, he raised an eyebrow at M with a smirk. For a moment, the girl's delicate little face was dyed with a blush, and her smile bloomed. A backyard crisis was quietly resolved by Ye Bai, and at this moment, Qishu's heart was full of turbulent waves. What did Ye Bai just say? Although he supports Kaluni, he is not optimistic about Kaluni, who has been famous for a long time and has won 2 Carlos champions in a row. No crown and super double crown? What kind of shockwave champion is this? Chapter 168 Confident Steven. Lone champion and runner-up. Just focus on the game. Ye Bai brought the three of them back to the field. Now, Mega Gardevoir has been defeated. Kaluni had to send a second Pokémon. The details are roughly as follows. Due to Touzi's waiting, no time has been wasted. It's not that far off when Mega Gardevoir wakes from sleep. Kaluni chose to give it a go. Hope that the attack power of Iron Ruts is not enough to kill Mega Gardevoir in one shot. At the same time, the heart is madly calling Mega Gardevoir. The relationship between her and Mega Gardevoir is very good, so good that in the world where Ye Bai lived in his previous life, it is recorded in the encyclopedia. Even if the two places are separated, Kaluni and her trump card Gardevoir can sense each other's position through the air. Tuco directs Iron Track to use Heavy Slam Sucker Punch. There are Iron Ruts full of cold breath all over his body. His body is curled up into the roller. Silver energy covers the outside of the Iron Rut. The Iron Track or Bbook's body turned into a roller that rotated rapidly, bursting out at a speed that didn't fit his figure. And it is at this critical moment, Mega Gardevoir answered Touzi's call. Open your eyes, the aura is as cold as frost, and the Berserk Psychic leaked out crazily. Boom. There was a loud bang. The strength of the Iron Rut itself, plus the weight, and the potential energy brought by the continuous rotation speed are converted into impact force. 3 forces combined. Even Gardevoir from Mega Evolution couldn't handle it. The tyrannical and violent psychic of the past, like loose sand condensed by water, was scattered by a bump. Mega Gardevoir was also hit directly. Touzi took advantage of the victory to pursue. One earthquake sent Gardevoir out of Mega Evolution form in one fell swoop, and easily sent Gardevoir away with residual blood. The tables turned. The ensuing battle was just as the mansion wrote Ye Bai's guess. Kaluni, who lacks rival information. I don't know how to deal with the Iron Ruts that are obviously heavy tanks but are moving fast. Sandstorm, Iron Defense, Body Press. Under the interference of Sandstorm, the Iron Track easily completes the reinforcement, raising the defense to the best contest condition. And then again with astonishing speed, take advantage of Iron Defense Body Press tactics. Even if there is a Gorgist similar to Ghost in Rival, there is nothing to do with Latte Ruts. The heavy slam with a cold light immediately kills Gorgist instantly. After sending Hydreigon at the beginning, Touzi successfully relied on the Pokémon Iron Track to push the team easily. The ease was beyond everyone's expectations. Even Ye Bai didn't expect that Kaluni, who had gone to Gardevoir, would be so powerless in the face of the Iron Ruts. And this kind of result also made Steven, who watched the entire match the whole time, fall into a burst of tension. Is the Don fan of this regional variant really so fierce? Thinking about Majestic Fang's gigantic size, which was twice the size of the Iron Ruts, Moshi's vigilance against N was instantly raised to a peak. Wouldn't he also roll over? Just now, he sneaked onto the Carlos official forum, and he has seen many posts criticizing Kaluni. Asking for flowers. Although abusive content is only a small part of it, but more content is shocking. Most of them are talking about Kaluni's film career and the comparison with Dandi's upset exit, so much so that Kaluni's public opinion environment is even worse than that of Dandi. After all, although there are many Hiroshi obituaries on Dandi, but he is indeed a person who wholeheartedly focuses on Pokemon battles. The rival who lost to was originally a strong contender for the world's first person. But Kalun is not. Kaluni's other job is an international movie star. Every year, a lot of time is spent on filming, and very little time is devoted to studying combat. It feels more like a bad show. It's all right now, even losing to this little-known dark horse player. Some people even dug out Kaluni's Reuters, which is used to pass the time by reading, shopping, and enjoying the scenery in her spare time. It attracted a bunch of people to criticize Kaluni's bad behavior. From the top 4 to the top 8, the anger of the people has been ignited. At the moment, the only way Steven can think of is to calm down the anger of the people is to enter the finals or win the championship. After all, there is no shame in losing to the champion and runner-up. But that's simply not possible. At least in the opinion of Steven, who has studied the battle data between N and Touzi. The strength shown by the two of them now is not enough to defeat him. For this world championship, Steven has plenty of confidence. 2. Chapter 169, about Qishu to eat. Meet Cynthia by chance. Competition is over. Kaluni looked at the battlefield in a daze, and stood there in a daze, speechless for a long time. Winner and loser, no matter how powerful and dazzling you were, there will always be moments of loneliness. As a comparison, it was the joy and excitement that appeared on the light and beautiful Touzi's face after successfully advancing to the next round. The cruelty of athletic competition. Strong contrast. Many people couldn't bear to see Kaluni's sad appearance. Although Kaluni was helpless in the face of the Iron Rat during the 320 battle process, Ye Bai was a little bit embarrassed. You can personally feel the powerlessness and lack of focus of Kaluni. In the end, Ye Bai still couldn't make up his mind to call Geneva to refund the money. Nothing more. Isn't Carlos still a rising star like him? Everything that Senior Kaluni lost this year, let his successor get it back next year. Shake head. Ye Bai withdrew his unbearable gaze, and turned to look at Serena. Come on, let's get something to eat. As if remembering something, Ye Bai looked back to the back row. By the way, do you want Miss Qishu to come together? It would be great to make new friends from other regions if you can. Talking room. Qishu leapt over the seat full of energy, and jumped to the side of Ye Bai and then the body became unbalanced and almost rolled over. Fortunately, at a critical moment, Ye Bai grabbed the girl who was leaning over. Be careful, Miss Qishu. Watching the girl stand upright again. Only then did Ye Bai let go of the girl's tightly gripped hands. The four walked to the entrance of the passageway leaving the stadium. Turning his head, Ye Bai looked at the opposite platform on both sides. Touzi has left, but Kaluni remained where she was. The helpless figure is touching. It is true that Kaluni's attitude towards the World Championships this time is not correct. But Ye Bai cannot ignore Kaluni's contribution to Carlos after all. As a Carlos, Ye Bai decided to comfort Kaluni. I silently extended an invitation to Kaluni in my heart. You have been invited to enter the underground world. Do you accept this invitation? Almost at the instant the invitation was issued, in Ye Bai's sight, Kaluni, who was still in a daze, suddenly moved her body. Immediately afterwards, he looked around, as if he was looking for something. There are still words in the mouth. Out of an inch-depth understanding of Stephanie's lips, Ye Bai read out the other's words. Who's talking? Ye Bai smiled, turned around and walked into the aisle with the three women. Out of the arena. Along the way, Serena kept her head down and said nothing. It seems to be the last loss of empathy for Kaluni. Although Qishu is full of vitality, he doesn't know Serena very well, but it is a good hand to adjust the atmosphere. Miss, don't be too sad. Competitions always come and go. Hey, I will share half of my energy with you. Don't be sad anymore. Qishu smiled, showing her unique shark teeth. Stretch out 2 index fingers, point on the dimple. The positive and optimistic attitude really dispelled the low mood in Serena's heart. Ha ha ha. Has Miss Qishu always been this funny? I'm an anchor, so you have to be positive all the time. Qishu smiled and explained, maybe this is the original me, or maybe it's been so long that I'm completely an optimist now. While speaking, Qishu glanced across a row of shops in the distance, and finally stopped at a cold drink shop. In front of this cold drink shop, she saw a person who shocked her. Wow, look over there. It's Miss Zai 3.6 Rona. After finishing speaking, Qishu excitedly greeted the three of them and ran towards Cynthia, while running and thinking in my heart, as a gym trainer, I wonder if I can talk to Cynthia, and ask for a group photo and autograph. It's best to bring Ye Bai and M, as well as Serena, who is also eye-catching. Take the group photo directly as the cover of her live broadcast room. The flow is still not rattling. At that time, she will be in charge of Quack, and Cynthia, Ye Bai, and will be in charge of traffic. So happy. Chapter 170 Reshiram's awareness. He came to Cynthia's side full of joy. According to Qishu's personality, it should have been a matter of course, and it should be easy to strike up a conversation. The result is not just nervousness or what. Qishu hesitated for a long time, but couldn't say a word. Fun for Ye Bai, simply speak directly. Congratulations, advancing to the next round. Hear a familiar voice. Cynthia, who has been wondering which flavor of ice cream to buy, turned around in surprise. Hey, why are you here? Cynthia was stunned for a while, and then thought of the attention of the World Championships. Scratching his head suddenly. Oh, how long have you been here? Qishu, oh 3, is there such a chat? Why are you still asking and answering yourself? Well, you know each other? Qishu stared in astonishment at Ye Bai and his group who had chatted with Cynthia. I just came here today, but we saw the amazing performance of the Cynthia champion yesterday on TV. Ye Bai answered Cynthia's question first, then turned around and said to Qishu, actually, I don't even know each other. Strictly speaking, Miss Cynthia and I only met twice. Is it a relationship between two sides? Cynthia's mouth twitched. Although it is true, but the two encounters, the things experienced are not common. Putting it on the common people is enough to remember it forever. Shook his head. Throw out the words that are complaining in your mind. Cynthia felt a little disappointed. Unfortunately, you can't participate in this World Championship, otherwise. Cynthia didn't say anything later. But the three of Ye Bai understood what Cynthia meant. With Black Rayquaza and Primal Groudon, Ye Bai is bound to win the championship. Qishu, otherwise what? Riddlers be damned. Qishu looked at the people around him who seemed to understand immediately, as if there was a cat scratching in his heart. Annoyed. But one thing she can be sure of, there are still many secrets about Ye Bai that she doesn't know. By the way, has Champion Cynthia eaten? Call me Cynthia, I haven't eaten yet. Do you want to join me? Alright, Champion Cynthia, let's go together. Ye Bai was naughty on purpose. It caused Cynthia to roll her eyes. Her charming appearance is enough to win the admiration of countless men. Childish. After understanding the meaning in Cynthia's eyes, she smiled blankly. He was a young man. With the addition of Cynthia, the 4-member team suddenly became a 5-member team. With this configuration, it's a big fight. Through inquiries, several people went to Gala Region, a restaurant with the best reputation for dinner. At the same time, the interview on Gala's official TV station is over. It took a lot of effort for Touzi to finally get rid of the siege of other reporters. Sneaked into the changing room. Communicate with the white dragon Reshiram inside the Master Ball. Did you really feel Kyurem's aura appearing on the battlefield? Recalling the time of the battle, Reshiram reminded her that Kyurem is coming. It also startled Touzi. There are tens of thousands of spectators in Gongman Stadium. If there is an uncontrolled beast war, causing 420 casualties is definitely no less than a war. Fortunately, Kyurem didn't really show up, and now, Reshiram himself isn't sure. That aura is very thin, and it feels like it hasn't appeared for a long time. It seems as if it has been subdued by someone. Coming to this conclusion, Harem was stunned. She and Zekrom seek entrainment in order to achieve ideals and truths. What is Kyurem for? You can't just find a trainer just to devour them. After Reshiram finished speaking, Kyurem was suspected of being subdued, and then he remained silent. Touzi became curious. Want to know who actually tamed the strongest dragon in Legendary? Reshiram, why don't you continue to identify the direction of that breath? Let's go and have a look. Chapter 171, and Shocked by Ye Bai. At the same time, it is opposite to the second floor of the restaurant where Ye Bai and others eat. On the roof, wearing a peaked cap, a young man with cool temperament and green hair, handheld telescope. He was quietly observing Ye Bai who was eating. Are you sure it's him? Zekrom, yes. He has a very strong ice dragon breath. Zekrom's affirmative response quickly resounded in En's heart. For a moment, En's heart couldn't help setting off a stormy sea. Unbelievable. The power that my father wanted to get was unexpectedly obtained by a young man. Look at Ye Bai who is eating at a table with Cynthia. En's heart was filled with turmoil. Ye Bai's age is too young. He was very curious. How exactly did Ye Bai do it? As the body of the 3 dragons of the Tower, having lost the 2 forces that he should have, Kyurem's temper can be said to be quite irritable. It is impossible to choose to be close to weak humans like Zekrom and Reshiram. At Ye Bai's age, En is almost on Ye Bai's body, and there is no possibility of subduing him by force. I can't figure it out. While En was thinking, suddenly, he found you. Zekrom's hint appeared in En's mind. What? En, who has always shown others with a calm contest condition, raised his head in astonishment. When he picked up the binoculars and looked in the direction of Ye Bai again, he saw Ye Bai smiling mysteriously at him. Next moment, in En's field of vision, the picture in front of him quickly became blurred and dim. What happened? En in a shock, nervously holding the binoculars in hand, looking in other directions around, the buildings of the city come into view. Seeing that only the floor where Ye Bai is located, the screen is plunged into darkness and nothing can be seen. En breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it wasn't that he was teleported to some strange place, or got hypnosis. Go away, En. The opponent still has a supernatural beast in his hand, so it is difficult for me to protect you." Zekrom's voice rang in En's head. "I see." Although the heart had set off a turbulent sea, but En quickly recovered his usual calmness, and walked down the roof unhurriedly. Although Ye Bai really gave him a lot of shock, but En's IQ is still there. With the situation just now, if Ye Bai really has any ill intentions towards him, or, what kind of malice is there for him now? He must have shot directly, and there was no need to simply cover up his peeping. Since Ye Bai didn't make a move, there is nothing to worry about. It's just that after such a fuss, En is not in the mood to eat. He is going to contact his father, find out what is going on here. Ye Bai here, commanding the invisible figure. Latias cut Tofen's prying eyes, just getting ready to continue cooking. Suddenly, there was a loud exclamation from downstairs. Instantly aroused everyone's curiosity. Immediately afterwards, there was a click of a camera shooting. Could it be Kaluni who came? Cynthia stopped the action of cooking rice, put the spoon into the plate, looking curiously at the entrance of the stairs on the second floor. He guessed. It feels like the scene that will appear when Miss Kaluni appears. Qishu imagined the number of fans of this international movie star in his mind. I feel that Cynthia's guess is completely reasonable. Thinking of Cynthia knowing Kaluni, if there is a chance to take a photo with a big celebrity. Thinking of the bright future, a small star flashed in Qishu's eyes. Serena and M looked at each other, and were very curious about whether the person who came was Kaluni. Probably not. Ye Bai shook his head. He just invited Kaluni into the underworld double. It is estimated that this society is still exploring the new world, so there will be time to come here. Combined with the appearance of En just now, it should be her who came this time. Chapter 172. Kyurem and Groudon fight daily. Very panicked. After a while, at the entrance of the stairs on the second floor, there was a burst of light footsteps. Everyone looked for the reputation. The first to catch the eye is a black and white peaked cap, followed by a light brown single ponytail, and the girl's facial features as delicate as a Barbie doll, and her skin as white as milk and translucent. His white and tender arms, like lotus roots, were exposed outside the short sleeves. Slender waist, connect a pair of ultra-short jeans below. The slender and long legs are smooth and translucent, reflecting the luster outward under the light. The whole is a vibrant adolescent girl. Miss Touzi's eyes widened in surprise. It's really not Miss Kaluni. Serena stared at Ye Bai in surprise. A thoughtful look flashed across her delicate face. At the same time, when the breath of Reshiram appeared so near around 323, in the Ice Dragon mystery, Kyurem, who had been in a deep sleep, suddenly opened his eyes. Cold frost, accompanied by Kyurem's fighting spirit, an overwhelming ice storm was set off, like a wave, hitting the entire secret realm. Even Groudon in his sleep was covered with frost and snow, turned into an ice sculpture in the world of ice and snow. Suddenly encountering an unexpected attack for no reason, Groudon's brain was instantly filled with anger. The body temperature began to soar rapidly, visible to the naked eye. The frost and snow wrapping Groudon's body evaporated quickly, producing a large white steam that floated high into the sky. Freed from the shackles of ice and snow, Groudon immediately took aim at the ice. Dragon Kyurem, roar. What are you crazy about? The giant beast's roar made Schwanksu in the entire secret realm oscillate with the sound waves. According to the usual procedure, Groudon roared, Kyurem will feel bad. Next is Groudon primal reversion, the rhythm of a big fight with the water dragon Kyurem. This time, however, Kyurem ignored Groudon. He wants to go out and get back his own power. But the present him, not simply bound by Pokeball, it is impossible to appear in the outside world without Ye Bai's consent. But, Rauso, the strong murderous aura was also transmitted to the outside world. Let Reshiram in a master ball and Touzi who was shrouded in murderous aura feel their souls trembling. Haha, hello everyone. Touzi stood there stiffly. There was a forced smile on his face. I just wanted to find out about Kyurem's reality. The brain came over as soon as it was hot. After entering the restaurant, she encountered a large group of people taking pictures, which made her subconsciously forget the danger of Kyurem. Now, under Kyurem's killing intent, she finally calmed down. A layer of cold sweat could not help but emerge from the back. But, the moment Touzi saw Cynthia, the tension and uneasiness in his heart subsided a little. The battle where Cynthia defeated Dandi, she watched the whole process. The existence of Regigigas made Touzi still fresh in his memory. It is true that Kyurem is powerful, even if attribute is advantageous. Reshiram is not against Sim. But if you add a Regigigas, 2-on-1 is still a good chance of winning. What makes Touzi feel more at ease is that, since the moment when the murderous aura emerged, she never felt the murderous intent towards herself and Reshiram again. Although I don't know why this happens, by the way, is it because of Ye Bai? Touzi looked at Ye Bai curiously. As an Unova person, I have a certain understanding of the celebrities in Unova region, especially Xiaojia who is at the forefront of the fashion industry. Touzi always pays attention to Xiaojia's movements, learns some of her outfits. Therefore, They paid attention to the existence of Ye Bai. Know that Ye Bai has a Greninja that can bond evolution, and a different color Mega Guard Voya in his hands. Only, to her surprise, Ye Bai actually still holds the Ice Dragon Kyurem in his hand. This astonishing news really shocked her. Chapter 173, Qishu's Inquiry. Get the militant possibility. Social fear. Seeing Touzi's nervousness, casting a glance at Serena, whose mood has recovered, Qishu's eyes narrowed into two crescent moons, and now it was her turn to appear as a vigorous girl. Lively and active, she came to Touzi in 2 or 3 steps, carefully left a sense of boundaries of 2 or 3 positions. Put a smile on your face. Qishu tried his best to show friendly emotions. Hello, Miss Touzi, I'm Yongguang from the Puxia region. Qishu, the owner of the city's gymnasium. Qishu stretched out his hand. Padia. The content of Qishu's words can't help but make Touzi's thoughts fly to the trip to Padia 2 months ago. It was an amazing journey. After being stunned for a moment, Touzi stretched out his hand and shook Qishu. Hello. Phew, not bad. Seeing Touzi was not the worst case scenario where he was so nervous that he couldn't even shake hands as expected. Instead, he regained his calmness during the battle. Qishu breathed a sigh of relief inwardly. If you don't mind, let's sit together. Touzi's inquiring eyes looked past Qishu, subconsciously looked at Ye Bai and Cynthia. She even watched Ye Bai's reaction first, and then went to Cynthia. According to the logic of the common people see the table in front of them, and they will subconsciously think that Cynthia, who is the most famous and powerful, is the main speaker of this table. However, Touzi's reaction was not like this. This small difference, not only the girls, but even Touzi himself didn't notice. But Ye Bai noticed. Sure enough, because of Reshiram's existence, Touzi is particularly interested in her existence. Touzi was invited to sit down. After picking up the menu and choosing the food to eat, I handed it over to the waiter waiting beside me. The waiter went down with the selected menu. While waiting, Qishu curiously asked out the doubts in his heart. Well, although the question is a bit presumptuous, but as master of Padia, I still hope that Miss Touzi can answer. Where did you get your iron in Padia? Speaking of this, Qishu's attitude instantly became serious. Paradoxical Pokemon has an unknown origin, but it possesses a dangerous existence of powerful, cruel character. There are too many unknown secrets in him. According to the information that Qishu knew after becoming the master of the gymnasium, all the paradoxical Pokemon are huddled in the huge pit in the center of Padia. There are special guards from Alliance. It stands to reason that no one can own Paradox Pokemon. If Touzi entered the giant pit with the approval of the Padia Region Alliance and caught the Iron Rats, seeking flowers 0. Naturally, everyone is happy. Dr. Touzi caught the Iron Rats outside, or Touzi forced himself into the giant pit of Padia. Especially the latter. Even if you can't beat through, isn't there Cynthia by my side? The champion fights against evil, but it is unreasonable. But, although I have prepared the worst plan in my heart, 0. But in fact, Qishu didn't believe at all that a girl like Touzi, who seemed very sensible, would do such a dangerous act of forcibly breaking into the giant pit of Padia. Hearing Qishu's serious question, Touzi's expression when he answered the question couldn't help but become more stern. Thoughts sink into memories. A desert covered with yellow sand appeared in my mind. It's in the dry desert. Touzi's answer undoubtedly confirmed Qishu's guess. It is paradoxical that the Pokemon broke through the barrier and ran to the outside world without authorization, but fortunately no major casualties were caused. Listening to the conversation between the two women, Ye Bai's thoughts are running fast. According to what Touzi said, she encountered iron rats in the scorching desert. This point just corresponds to the Zuzi version, the purple version of the main iron track of Earthquake Treasure. I don't know if I have a chance to pick up a militant when I go to the Puxia region now. Chapter 174. Next stop. Analysis of Cynthia. Anyway, after the 8-4 match is over, Indigo Alliance Conference is also 1 day away. Ye Bai thought about it. It seems that it is not bad to go to Padia after watching the game. It is best to have militant. If there is no militant, it is better to lock the underground world base in the United States. Now that the paradoxical Pokemon has been spread all over the world through the hands of Touzi. Want to know about the Padia Alliance, which cannot be concealed? The day when the existence of paradoxical Pokemon is announced to the outside world is not too far away. Maybe, passed as a competitor at his upcoming Indigo Alliance conference, you can also cooperate with Padia officials. After a meal, anxiously find an empty place with Reshiram to discuss the current situation, Touzi randomly found an excuse. I left with a heavy heart. Ye Bai kept watching Touzi disappear. Okay, everyone is gone. Don't look any further, Serena said with some taste. Ye Bai nodded. The bland reaction made Serena feel bored, and it seemed that Ye Bai paid attention to Qishu. At the same time, withdrawing his gaze towards the back of Touzi, Ye Bai glanced at Cynthia, who was shining brightly under the sun. Admiration in my heart. She deserves to be one of the top beauties in the Pokemon world. She is really beautiful, and her commanding skills are also strong. But with a smile on the corner of Ye Bai's mouth,
he said leisurely. It looks like Miss Cynthia's strongest rival has appeared. The strongest rival? Cynthia frowned. Miss Touzi. 90% probability. Ye Bai does not deny, but does not directly agree. In just one meal, he has already glimpsed the whole cards of N and Touzi. The Fire Dragon of Truth, the White Dragon, Reshiram, and the Ideal Ampharos, the Black Dragon, Zekrom. Ye Bai will be more optimistic about Touzi, not because he thinks that Fire Dragon is better than Ampharos. Ye Bai took a fancy to the truth represented by Reshiram. Yes, compared with Ideal Zekrom, the reality represented by Reshiram is more in line with the laws of reality. Since Reshiram picked Touzi, then there must be elements that can be called truth in Touzi. Are you so optimistic about Touzi? Looked at Ye Bai in surprise. Wouldn't a man really like this fellow Unova? However, judging from the performance of the iron track held by Miss Touzi, if Mr. Steven and contestant Hen can't crack Miss Missy's talk about the final, it seems normal. Serena was thoughtful. Anyway, stretching out her white index finger, she put it vertically in front of her delicate red lips, and a flash of thought and curiosity flashed on M's fair, bright and beautiful face. I want to know more. Who will you give the remaining 10% to? Sure, Mr. Steven. Serena took it for granted. Some time ago, Mr. Steven used the Mega Color Metagross to defeat the older champion in an exhibition match. That's true. Nodded approvingly. Although we all know that Steven has a special fondness for rocks. But Steven's concentration and dedication to the game, obviously surpassing Kaluni, who is also the champion. Very reasonable for him. That's right. That's right. Qishu also echoed. N can't be like Touzi, who has been to Padia and has a powerful paradoxical Pokemon as a trump card. There really are. Cynthia, who had been listening to the conversation of the three women, answered silently in her heart. Like Steven, Cynthia also has the habit of collecting rival data before the battle. Even if rival is unknown, the purpose is to prevent the car from overturning like Kaluni. The three women are unanimously optimistic about the big 3.2. Cynthia is actually the same. She has carefully studied all rival team configurations. It is concluded that Touzi's average combat power is at the bottom, and N follows closely. Although Steven's ranking is not high, a large part of the reason is due to the division. Just like Dandi is obviously very strong, but he was still eliminated early this year. Steven's actual level is actually higher than that of Kaluni, even if N is also stronger than Touzi. But Cynthia didn't think that, with the lessons learned, it didn't make sense that Steven would make the same mistakes that Kaluni had made. Chapter 175 The Real Cynthia. Touch 10. But, with amazing insight, Cynthia noticed the change in the arc of Ye Bai's mouth. Ye Bai thinks Steven will be defeated by N2? Cynthia looked curious. Yes. Ye Bai nodded slightly. Even, the final champion may be Touzi. Hercules' Regigigas are very strong, but Reshiram's flames don't require close quarters. What's more, Regigigas started too low. The existence of Hercules' ability can barely make up for the level gap between the two sides. Actually, Cynthia will be at a disadvantage no matter which one of Touzi or N is facing. N's full strength 03. Among the 8 masters this year, only you and Touzi can be called their rival. Ye Bai said firmly. So strong? A flash of excitement flashed in Cynthia's eyes. As a legendary trainer, Ye Bai has many secrets that she doesn't know. So much so that since Ye Bai said so, Cynthia believed it directly, without doubting Ye Bai's judgment at all. It seems that I will work harder next time. The breeze came and blew Cynthia's golden hair, revealing the beauty's resolute ties hidden under the golden hair. Even if the enemy is strong, he will not be afraid to fight. That's what she is. Cynthia. Next, a group of 5 went to the stadium. Invited by Cynthia, everyone was fortunate enough to enter the official personnel channel. You can watch the performance of the players more intuitively at close range from the media seats near the player passage in the front row. At the scene, host has already introduced the two sides of the battle to the tens of thousands of spectators who came to the scene. At the same time, it is actively mobilizing the emotions of fans on both sides. Alas, after 3 battles, it's finally the last round. After the first 3 games, it can be said that some are happy and some are sad. Currently Kanto, Sinnoh, Unova, each occupy a seat, and now the battle that is about to start. The two sides are the champion Steven Stone from Hoenn, and the second player from Unova, the youth N who is also dubbed the title of Dark Horse. If N can reproduce the stunning performance of his fellow countryman, Miss Touzi, he will advance to the next round. At that time, 2 seats in the top 4 will belong to Unova. This is undoubtedly a good time for Unova region to attack the championship and the reputation of the first division. Even more exciting is that, contestant N is also as young as Miss Touzi, being able to enter the finals of the 8 masters at such a young age. The future is bright. It's really worth looking forward to. After the host's voice fell, the scene suddenly erupted into a tsunami of internal shouts. All from Unova fans. In the first half, they still looked like Buddhists, but at this moment they all shouted N's name frantically. Why do they follow Buddhism? Of course it was because the 2 contestants were too young, and the past history was there, so they had no confidence. But now that Touzi has defeated the previous 4th,
He has made history and created a miracle. So why can't they swell? Can't be proud? Tens of thousands of fans, all 713, shouted a name at the same time. N. The sound is deafening, and the heart is throbbing with the shout, as if it is bearing a heavy hammer. The fans cheered and jumped with joy from the heart. It was moving, infected the audience. Even in the battle seats, N, who has always been close to Pokemon and kept vigilant when interacting with humans, now, the heart is also touched. There was a little blood in the eyes. People's hearts are fleshy, and N is no exception. What's more, he is not a cold-blooded person. He was just abused by many bad humans under the influence of human beings in his childhood. This moment, feeling people cheering from the heart, certain ideas in N's mind were shaken at this moment. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. And join my Patreon if you want to support me, link in the description. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.